Ever imagine yourself, like floating hundreds of miles above the Earth, looking down at our planet?
That's a pretty incredible thought, right?
It is, and that's actually happening right now up on the International Space Station. And we're going to take a deep dive today into a recent article from NASA.
Oh, cool.
It's called Inside the ISS, NASA Crew's Thrilling Week of Spacewalks and Scientific Breakthroughs.
I like the title.
Yeah. Catchy. It was published just a few days ago on January 14th, 2025. We're going to get a glimpse into the amazing work being done up there.
I'm excited to hear all about it.
Me too. Spacewalks, cutting-edge research, maybe even learn a little bit about daily life in orbit. What do you think?
Sounds good to me. Let's dive in.
Okay, so one thing that always fascinates me about the ISS is it's not just like a technological marvel. It's like a vibrant hub of
It's scientific exploration.
Totally. It's like a laboratory in space,
Right.
constantly buzzing with activity. Astronauts are doing these groundbreaking research projects that really are expanding our understanding of the universe. And even ourselves. It's incredible. So this article we're looking at highlights a week in the life of the ISS crew, right?
It does.
What were some of the standout events? What really caught your eye?
Well, one of the most exciting things, I thought, was the first spacewalk of 2025,
Oh, wow.
conducted by astronauts Nick Hague and Suni Williams.
A spacewalk.
Yeah.
I mean, that just sounds intense.
Oh, it is.
What exactly goes into prepping for something like that?
I mean, you're suiting up in this multi-million-dollar spacesuit, meticulously checking every single system, knowing that these lithium-ion batteries are your lifeline. They're literally powering your every move in the vacuum of space. So it's high stakes. It's this ballet of technology and human skill.
That is wild. And what were they working on during this spacewalk? What was the objective?
So they were focused on two really fascinating instruments. One was the NICER X-ray telescope,
Okay.
and the other one was the alpha magnetic spectrometer. Both of them play a really crucial role in unraveling the mysteries of the universe.
Okay, tell me more about these instruments. What makes them so special? What sets them apart?
So NICER, it observes neutron stars. And these are incredibly dense remnants of collapsed stars.
Wow.
Just to give you an idea of how dense they are.
Yeah.
Imagine a teaspoonful of this neutron star material weighing as much as Mount Everest.
It's hard to even fathom that.
It's wild. And studying them helps us understand the extreme physics that are at play in the universe, really pushing the boundaries of what we know. And then there's the alpha magnetic spectrometer. It's constantly scanning, looking for evidence of dark matter and antimatter, these elusive building blocks of our cosmos. It's incredible.
Wow. So while some astronauts are venturing outside to tinker with these cosmic instruments, what's happening inside the station? What's going on back there?
Yeah, so inside the ISS, astronaut Hague is actually tackling a very earthly phenomenon. He's working with a combustion-integrated rack, and he's studying how fire behaves in microgravity.
Fire in space. That's intriguing.
It is.
Why is that research so important? Why fire?
Well, think about it. Understanding fire in microgravity is absolutely crucial for spacecraft safety.
Makes sense.
Flames, they behave differently in space. And this research is helping engineers design safer spacecraft, develop effective fire suppression systems. Because when we're talking about long-duration missions,
Right.
like to the moon, to Mars,
Yeah.
essential.
So it's like they're figuring out how to tame fire
Right.
in a completely new environment.
Exactly.
That's fascinating. And what about Commander Williams? What is she focused on during this time?
She's tending to something a bit more serene, the advanced plant habitat.
A space garden.
A space garden, exactly.
What kind of plants are they growing up there?
Well, and more importantly, why?
Yeah, why?
Well, imagine fresh food grown on board a spacecraft during a years-long mission to Mars.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Right. This research is all about figuring out how to optimize plant growth in microgravity, which is critical for these sustainable long-duration space travel. We're talking about potentially creating self-sustaining ecosystems in space.
So from tending to space gardens to tackling cosmic mysteries, it seems like the ISS is a real hive of activity, always something going on. What other fascinating tasks were on the crew's schedule this week? Anything else catch your eye?
Well, let's not forget about the everyday essentials of life in space.
Sure.
Think about something as simple as drinking water. Maintaining a safe and reliable water supply up on the ISS requires constant monitoring, meticulous procedures, something you might not immediately think about when you picture life in orbit.
It's true. Even the most basic tasks become extraordinary when you're in space.
Absolutely.
And what about those emergency drills that were mentioned in the article?
Oh, yeah.
I can only imagine the pressure of having to evacuate the ISS in a real emergency.
It's a sobering thought. Every single crew member needs to be prepared for any eventuality. And it really highlights the inherent risks of space travel and just the meticulous planning that's required to mitigate those risks. They have to be ready to respond swiftly, efficiently, in case of any emergency,
Right.
like a fire or a hull breach.
Wow. Speaking of health and safety, the article mentions Russian cosmonauts Ovchinin and Wagner, and they're studying the effects of microgravity on blood flow.
Yeah, fascinating stuff.
Why is this research so crucial? What are we hoping to learn from that?
Well, you have to remember that microgravity, it impacts every aspect of the human body, everything from bone density and muscle mass to even the immune system.
Wow.
And this research specifically dives into how the tiniest blood vessels react to microgravity. So it gives us these insights into how the cardiovascular system adapts in space. It's pretty remarkable.
So it's not just about astronaut health in space.
Right.
It's about potential breakthroughs for cardiovascular health back here on Earth.
Exactly. What we learn from studying the human body in space can potentially lead to new treatments for circulatory disorders, or maybe even help us prevent the negative effects of prolonged space travel on astronauts in the future.
It's really remarkable. The ISS is like a giant human biology experiment unfolding right before our eyes, and the findings could benefit all of us here on Earth.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. And it's all happening
I know.
in this incredible display of international collaboration.
It's really inspiring.
American astronauts and Russian cosmonauts.
Working side by side.
Proving that scientific discovery and exploration can transcend earthly boundaries.
It's powerful.
It's a powerful image in today's world. This deep dive into the ISS is about much more than just science. It's about human ingenuity, resilience, and the potential for collaboration on a global scale.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really makes you appreciate the dedication, the spirit of these individuals working together hundreds of miles above our planet. Pushing the boundaries of human knowledge, demonstrating what we can achieve when we work together.
Absolutely. Now, we touched on the international aspect of the ISS earlier. This collaboration goes beyond just the current crew, right?
Oh, absolutely. The article mentions the recent departure of Soyuz MS-25,
Right.
which carried NASA astronaut Tracy Dyson, and Roscosmos cosmonauts Nikolai Chubb and Oleg Kononenko. Back to Earth.
Wow.
It's this constant rotation of crews, with astronauts and cosmonauts from various countries, coming and going, contributing to this remarkable global endeavor.
It truly is a global village up there in space. And speaking of departures, it makes me think about the astronauts who've already spent, extended periods on the ISS.
Yeah.
I bet they have some incredible stories
Oh, I'm sure they do.
about adapting to life in microgravity.
You'd think floating around all day would be easy.
Right.
But microgravity presents a unique set of challenges. Simple tasks, like eating, sleeping, and even exercising, become a whole new experience in space.
So what does a typical day look like for an astronaut on the ISS?
Oh, it's fascinating.
Fill us in on some of the routines.
Okay, so imagine waking up
Yeah.
in your sleeping bag, which is strapped to the wall,
Oh, wow.
preventing you from drifting around. After a quick space shower, using these special no-rinse products, you'd grab breakfast, carefully securing your food trays and utensils so they don't float away.
I can only imagine the chaos if a fork decided to take a solo trip around the station.
Exactly. And then it's time for work, which could involve anything from conducting those scientific experiments
Yeah.
to maintenance tasks,
Right.
all while floating in midair.
Right.
Even something as simple as changing a light bulb becomes a challenge when you're weightless.
Wow. I hadn't even considered the intricacies of everyday maintenance in space.
Oh yeah, it's a whole other ballgame.
So how do they stay fit with all that floating around?
Exercising is crucial in microgravity to prevent muscle and bone loss.
Makes sense.
Astronauts spend a couple of hours each day strapped into specialized exercise equipment, simulating resistance training and cardiovascular workouts. They even have a treadmill, but they have to wear a harness to keep them from floating away.
Wow. That sounds intense. It really paints a picture of the dedication and discipline required to live and work in space.
It really does.
And don't forget the mental
Oh,
challenges
of course.
living in a confined environment.
For months.
Yeah, far away from family and friends.
It requires a very unique set of psychological skills.
It must be both exhilarating and isolating at the same time.
Exactly. But the rewards are immense. Imagine gazing out the cupola window at our planet, a swirling blue and green oasis. Against the backdrop of the cosmos, it must evoke a profound sense of awe and interconnectedness.
It's a reminder that we're all part of something much larger than ourselves. Now, let's go back to the scientific research for a moment. We've already discussed fire and plants, but this article mentions another fascinating study being conducted by Ovchinin and Wagner, focusing on the effects of microgravity on blood flow.
Right, and this research goes beyond just keeping astronauts healthy in space. Understanding how microgravity affects blood flow can have significant implications for healthcare back on Earth.
So could this research lead to breakthroughs in treating circulatory disorders or other health conditions here on Earth?
Absolutely. Studying the human body in these extreme environments often leads to unexpected discoveries that have far-reaching benefits. For example, studying bone loss in space has already led to new treatments for osteoporosis here on Earth.
It's incredible how space exploration drives innovation and scientific advancement in fields that seemingly have nothing to do with space. What other kinds of research are being conducted on the ISS that could potentially benefit us here on Earth?
Well, there's ongoing research on new materials and manufacturing techniques that could lead to lighter, stronger, and more durable products for everyday use. There's also research on 3D printing in space, which could revolutionize manufacturing and construction both on Earth and beyond.
It's like the ISS is a giant testbed for technologies that could shape our future.
I like that, a giant test bed. I like that a lot.
And let's not forget the potential for studying our own planet from space.
Oh, what's right?
The ISS provides a unique vantage point for observing climate change, natural disasters, and other environmental phenomena.
It's a good point.
It's a reminder that space exploration isn't just about venturing outward, it's also about gaining a deeper understanding of our own planet and finding solutions to the challenges we face here at home.
Exactly. The ISS serves as this powerful symbol of human ingenuity, resilience, and our innate desire to explore and understand the universe around us. It's a testament to what we can achieve when we collaborate across borders, push the boundaries of what's possible.
It's a truly inspiring message, and it makes you wonder about the future of space exploration.
Doesn't it?
What comes next? What will future space stations look like? And what new frontiers will they help us explore?
That's a great question, and it leads us nicely to the final part of our deep dive.
Perfect.
Let's take a moment to consider the exciting possibilities that lie ahead for humans in space.
Welcome back. We've journeyed through spacewalks and delved into some cutting-edge research.
Have.
We even got to peek into the daily lives of astronauts aboard the ISS. But now I want to shift our focus to the future. What's next for humans in space? What do you think? What are you excited about?
I think it's a really exciting time to be looking at the future of space exploration. We're really on the cusp of a new era with some really ambitious plans out there for lunar outposts, missions to Mars, and even deeper exploration of our solar system. It's pretty remarkable.
So if the ISS is a symbol of our current capabilities in space,
Right.
What might future space stations look like? What are we envisioning?
Well, I think you can imagine these larger, more modular structures,
Okay.
capable of housing more crew members, supporting even more complex research. Maybe these future stations will be built using advanced materials, 3D printing techniques, allowing for greater flexibility and customization. Who knows? The sky's the limit.
Would these future stations be solely focused on scientific research? Or could they serve other purposes as well?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I mean, we could see space stations evolving into hubs for space tourism even,
Wow.
with dedicated modules for observation decks, recreational activities, maybe even space hotels. Think about it.
A space hotel, now that's a vacation I'd sign up for.
Right.
But wouldn't building and maintaining these larger, more complex stations present a significant challenge? I mean, how would we even do that?
It would be a challenge for sure. I think it would require a lot of advancements in robotics, artificial intelligence, and autonomous systems to be able to handle the construction, maintenance, and even those emergency situations in space. That's going to be key.
So as we push further into space, we'll need to develop technologies that can essentially build and operate independently. with minimal human intervention.
Yeah, exactly. And this need for greater autonomy in space will likely drive innovation in robotics and AI here on Earth, too, potentially with applications in all kinds of industries.
It's amazing how space exploration just continually pushes the boundaries of technology, and those advancements often circle back to benefit life here on Earth.
Absolutely.
But with all this talk of future space stations and lunar outposts, it makes me wonder about the ultimate goal. I mean, are we on a path toward becoming a multiplanetary species?
Now, that's a big question. It's one that has captivated, I think, scientists, philosophers, and science fiction writers for decades. While establishing a permanent human presence on another planet is still a pretty distant goal. It's a possibility that's becoming increasingly realistic with each technological advancement. Who knows what the future holds?
So while we may not be packing our bags for Mars just yet,
Right.
the groundwork is being laid right now. With every experiment conducted on the ISS, every spacewalk, every technological breakthrough, it's all contributing.
And this journey isn't just about reaching other planets. It's about expanding our understanding of the universe, pushing the limits of human ingenuity, and just inspiring future generations to dream big, to keep that sense of wonder alive.
It's a journey that sparks the imagination, and it reminds us that we're all part of something much grander than ourselves. I love that.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the International Space Station and kind of the future of space exploration,
Yeah.
I think it's worth pondering a final thought here. What would you want to explore if you had the chance to journey into space? What mysteries would you want to unravel? What new frontiers would you push? The possibilities are truly limitless, limited only by our imagination and our collective determination to reach for the stars. I think that's a great note to end on.
I agree. Keep exploring, keep questioning,
Yeah.
and keep looking up, because the next great discovery might be just beyond the horizon.
So well said. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey to the International Space Station and beyond. Until next time, keep those cosmic dreams alive.